So here's today's Substack. Love is our true nature. After years of searching and facing all kinds of trials, I've come to one unshakable conclusion. The deepest love is the only thing that truly matters. I'm not talking about love that's rooted in need or attachment, though that's a shadow of love itself. I mean a love that exists beyond time and the limitations of our world. It's a love that's pure, raw, and unconditioned. A love that transcends the stories of the self, the ego, and the mind. In a world filled with corruption, violence, and judgment, we've forgotten this love. We've replaced it with fear and division. But deep down, love is still the true power that heals and unites everything it touches. It's not the builders, inventors, or creators that keep the world turning. It's love. It's the quiet force that stands in the shadows and says, "I'm still here." Love, in its essence, is clean, simple, and pure. Yet it's constantly overshadowed by fear. Century after century, we've built a world on fear, but it has to end. And it can only end in me, and it can only end in you. That's the responsibility we carry, to dive deep within ourselves and discover that love is the only thing that matters. This journey is about finding the love that has divine authority within it, a love that refuses to yield to corruption or compromise. When I look at the figures like Jesus or Buddha, I don't see distant, mystical beings. I see symbols of our own potential. Their strength, their ability to stand in love no matter what was thrown at them, speaks to the truth that lives within all of us. We all have that capacity. Love is not something we find outside ourselves. It's within us. It's not some idealized concept, but a real living force that we can embody every day, even as the storms of life rage around us. I believe this is the only thing that gives life true value. To stand as love, to be love, and to offer even one drop of beauty to the world's suffering. And we don't have to be whole to do it. We can stand in love from our brokenness. So some poems from this week on X. I went into the heart of darkness and returned laden with jewels. I ventured deep into the mud and understood how the lotus grows. I looked into humanity's wounds and saw its healing. Whoever looks inside eventually sees the light. Let love pierce your armor. The wound will release its true beauty. Just this. An endless surrendering of the self that seeks to own and claim everything until there is no more self to give up. In a world of opinion, give people your love. In a world of cruelty and judgment, give them your kindness and equanimity. You cannot know what effect it may have, but a drop of grace is all it takes to transform people. All that is required is an endless undoing and the capacity to live from the mystery. This may involve entering the darkness and falling out of the world. Yet it awakens something profoundly true and previously inaccessible. To know the eternal, we must leave the temporal. It's like this. Life hardens the heart or softens it, closes it or opens it. In many ways, it's easier to harden and close, But the great task of the spiritual warrior is to soften and open. To fall into union is the end of the separate self. What bliss and reverie that is. Our darkness is only dark because we haven't entered it with the light of our love yet. And the last one is, the sacred garden is the innocence of your heart. Although covered with weeds and walled in by fear, still that sacred garden exists in its pristine innocence, for truly nothing can touch it. Thanks.